Here's your news for May 29th, 2020. And your headlines for today include more main roster call-ups from NXT very soon. How exactly Kairi Sane got injured? What's her current situation? Jim Cornette goes on a tirade again. Another big wrestler released from WWE teases AEW jump. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan reunion next week. Undertaker takes a shot at Hulk Hogan. Alexa Bliss shares a horrible story. Yet another wrestler discovered a career-ending injury. We're kicking off with news from WWE today, and whilst it's widely been reported that Matt Riddle will be part of the SmackDown roster starting from tonight's show, it looks like fans should expect more than the original Bro. Fightful is reporting that in addition to Riddle, fans should expect more NXT call-ups over the next month or so, though no firm plans are currently known. The Gold brand certainly has no shortage of epic superstars who could make a big splash on either Raw or SmackDown, and there's also a handful of Performance Center trainees that WWE are hiring from the Gold brand, so their main roster debut will be an even bigger deal. It'll be interesting to see which superstars from NXT get called up, and fans should expect the entire WWE landscape to change over the next month. One person who's been successful since being called up is Kairi Sane, but it was recently reported that the former Women's Tag Team Champion was busted open during the tapings for next week's Raw. We've now got an update on what happened, as according to Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, the company isn't blaming Sane's opponent Nia Jax for what happened. One of Meltzer's sources claimed that the Kabuki Warrior may have stumbled when she got whipped into the ring steps, which caused her to hit her head and get cut, whilst another claimed that Sane was in control of the bump and made it look too good. Meltzer also noted that Sane said she was okay after the match, but that doesn't necessarily mean she didn't suffer a concussion, and though one person thought she was KO'd, Sane didn't ask for time off. It'll be interesting to see whether WWE keeps the spot in the broadcast or edits it out, as Jax is set to face Sane's partner Asuka at Backlash with the Raw Women's title on the line. Now, it's clear that countless wrestling fans enjoyed AEW Double or Nothing, but one person who certainly didn't is Jim Cornette. Taking to his podcast, Cornette once again criticized the company for not using Nyla Rose's transgender status to draw heat, and also referred to the former AEW Women's Champion as 3 times the size of every at division, and also referred to Riho as a 90-pound schoolgirl. The closest he got to giving a compliment was when he said that Rose takes more bumps and gets beat up more than anyone in AEW's women's roster, but also attacked the match for its no DQ stipulation, saying, "But now they're using in a no DQ match chairs and tables and barricades and taking bumps through tables onto concrete floors? If it doesn't hurt a girl, whether it's a 270-pound girl or Hikaru Shida, who is 135 pounds probably max, why should a 275-pound man ever sell it?" These weren't the only criticisms Cornette had for Double or Nothing, as he also described the Stampede Stadium as the reason wrestling needs to die, and whilst Cornette didn't like the show, it's clear many more people did. Of course, Cornette's commentary has become news in itself, and one person who is tired of hearing from the controversial wrestling personality is Ryback. During conversations with the big guy, the former superstar claimed that Cornette has said plenty of things about wrestlers, including himself, that isn't even true, and added, "Eventually Jim's gonna meet the people that he's said things about like it's gonna happen. The wrong person is gonna go up and knock him flat on his." The former Intercontinental Champion did add that he wishes Cornette nothing but love and happiness, and hopes he finds some peace, because right now, the Smoky Mountain legend comes off like the most miserable human being on the planet. We sincerely doubt Ryback's comments are going to make Cornette change his tune though, as the controversial figure has built up a large fan base, or cult as Ryback called him, who will listen to what he has to say every single week. We've got some news from AEW next, as while the company already has a stacked roster, that hasn't stopped a certain former WWE superstar from teasing joining the promotion. On this week's edition of Dynamite, AEW TNT champion Cody Rhodes made a promise to defend the title every week as long as he's champion, and that open challenge caught the interest of Zack Ryder. Now going by his real name, Matt Cardona, the former superstar made it clear on Twitter that he'd be interested in challenging for the gold, but will have to wait a while to do so, as next week's show will see Rhodes defend against Jungle Boy. After being released from WWE last month, Cardona used the services of Michael Dawkins to help him file for a series of trademarks, and it's noteworthy that Dawkins is the same attorney that AEW uses for several of their wrestlers. Time will tell whether the $1,000 broski ends up in AEW, but if he does, fans could see him challenging for the TNT title at some point down the line. Back to WWE now, and we're looking ahead to NXT TakeOver in Your House, as another huge match has been added to the card. After weeks of exchanging words on the Gold brand, the company has confirmed that NXT North American champion Keith Lee will defend the title against Johnny Gargano. Though the Limitless One hinted at this match on the latest NXT, WWE confirmed the match on Instagram rather than on this week's episode, and fans can prepare to see these two face off on June 7th when TakeOver in Your House takes place from Full Sail. We're looking ahead to next week's edition of WWE Backstage, as the show will not only see the return of CM Punk, but also a special appearance by Daniel Bryan. This could certainly be an interesting conversation, as fans have for years wondered whether YesleMania would have happened if Punk hadn't left WWE in 2014, though Punk also watches the current product, as he recently poked fun at the billing of Edge vs. Randy Orton as the greatest wrestling match ever, as he claimed next week's show will be the greatest episode of Backstage ever. Time will tell whether Punk's claim turns out to be true, but whatever the case, next week's show should be entertaining to say the least. Now, we all know that The Undertaker is a legend and has faced every big name there is to face, but there are some stars that the Phenom just doesn't see eye to eye with. While speaking to ESPN recently, the Deadman referenced Hulk Hogan, and the Hall of Famer's claims that Undertaker gave him a neck injury via a tombstone piledriver at Survivor Series 1991. He said, "I was like, Terry, I watched it back, your head never hit." He's like, "Brother, what it was is you had me so tight that when we came down I had nowhere to move, and that's what jammed my neck. I couldn't move at all. At that point I was like, okay, I kinda realized I know what you're all about, and that's all I needed." It was just a few days after the phony neck injury that the Deadman would lose the title back to the Hulkster at this Tuesday in Texas, and added that though he wasn't overly friendly with Hogan when the Red and Yellow Star returned in 2002, he did try to engage him in conversation. Concluding, the Deadman admitted that after the claims of an injury, his radar was constantly up whenever Hogan was around, and given Hulk's history of politicking, we can't exactly blame the Deadman for this one. We've got news from Alexa Bliss next, as fans will remember that there was a worrying time when it looked like Bliss's career was over, and the petite powerhouse spoke to BT Sport recently about her prolonged concussion issues. She said, "I was experiencing really bad vertigo for an extended period of time, and all my other symptoms were gone. But if I had changed height levels, I would get extremely dizzy. It didn't go away for a really long time. So that's when I got really concerned. And they were like, well, you can't be in the ring if you're having any symptoms at all. Then you have to go through a whole concussion process after you stop having symptoms." Bliss went on to describe the process as disheartening and spoke about how though she was out of action for 9 months due to a few hits to the head, she's grateful that WWE kept her around with her Moment of Bliss show and hosting WrestleMania 35. It's worth mentioning that Bliss's final matches in 2018 took place in September and October, and all of these matches included Ronda Rousey as one of her opponents. Nia Jax has spoken out about a certain somebody injuring her friend, and whilst we're not sure whether the baddest woman on the planet will return, Bliss's story serves as a reminder that there's no fixed timeline on when a wrestler with a concussion will return. We're taking a break from the mainstream promotions now, and we're looking at UK indie wrestler Sierra Loxton, who recently was forced to retire. Online, Loxton shared the heartbreaking details about her injury, saying that she's never cried so much in her life, and detailed the ups and downs of competing, from broken bones to the people she's met. Loxton also said that this isn't the end of her time within the business, and since her injury last June, over £1,000 have been raised to help pay for surgery. With over 100 matches to her name in promotions like ICW, PCW, and IWC, it's a tragedy that Sierra had to retire in her early 20s, but she's receiving a ton of support to help her through this difficult time. Back to AEW now, and this week's show saw Mike Tyson appear, but he didn't come alone. During Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez revealed that nobody realized that Tyson would come out with such a large entourage, which included MMA stars and actor Mickey Gooch, who showed up wearing face paint. Speaking specifically about the latter, Alvarez didn't have too many kind words for the How to Be Single actor and ex of Rebel Wilson, as he said that Gooch had no idea where he was or what he was doing. He added, This Gooch dude is totally trying to steal the show. Unfortunately, I can't take my eyes off the guy, and between him and Mike Tyson being so wacky, I mean, it was a circus. But the positive, I have to say, is I couldn't take my eyes off of it for 1 second. Despite Gooch's involvement, Tyson's appearance did get AEW some mainstream publicity, and MMA star Chris Cyborg teased joining Tyson's crew, saying it needed some female representation. Whilst the boxing legend may or may not show next week, it certainly made for some interesting TV this time around. Speaking of AEW, we've got a report about Phoenix, who didn't compete at Double or Nothing due to a hard fall the previous Wednesday. The fact that Phoenix didn't appear on this week's Dynamite is interesting though, and Body Slam is reporting that AEW sent Phoenix home due to undisclosed personal reasons. In the Double or Nothing media scrum, Tony Khan said that Phoenix isn't expected to miss much time due to his injury, but hopefully Phoenix will be able to overcome whatever personal reasons that has caused him to miss more time from the ring.